Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a really fun, different type of video, which is probably also going to go up on South Asian social. If you're new here, have you not seen that I just decided to start another business because I have all of the time in the world? But on a real, I'm actually super passionate about this and I think it's something that needs to happen. Huge demand for it, but also I need it. Like, I want it for myself and I want it for everyone that looks like me as well. So today's video is going to be all about answering brown girl dilemmas. Brown girls go through it, I'm not gonna lie. Brown girls face some of the weirdest, hardest, most nuanced challenges. Not to like disregard anyone else's struggles, but obviously I'm a brown girl and so I just feel like I have a lot of experience in some of these things, and so I'm just going to be your agony aunt for this video, giving you my advice, but also I would love for the comment section to be open and share your advice on what you think this person should do as well. So many questions on my Instagram, so many to get through, so let's dive straight in. Why do brown girls find it so hard to support other brown girls? If I knew the answer to this question, I think I would genuinely be a genius, because it is one of life's mysteries that I have been trying to solve for years. Other brown girls don't support other brown girls. I'm not saying all, and I'm not even saying most. I think it's some that it's really quite damaging and it's really quite challenging to overcome that experience. I'm obviously talking from my own experience here, but I genuinely have forms of PTSD from some horrible, toxic, bitchy situations I've been in. I would love to know why. Why does it always happen? A lot of people tend to say that it's the way we have been brought up in our culture to just constantly compare ourselves to one another and compete with one another for our academics and studies, who can get married first, best house or car or wedding or whatever stupid materialistic thing that people impose upon us. It's something that's like ingrained and deep rooted in our culture that we need to get rid of. I know it's easier said than done, but if we banded together and actually supported one another, could probably change the world. And I'm not even exaggerating. We could genuinely make such an impactful change in society as a whole. It is really sad, and obviously I am a content creator. My most hate comes from brown people, brown men often, but also brown women, and whether it's on my comment section to my face or probably more commonly behind my back, and that sucks. Why does it need to be like that? Why do we need to take it to the level of dragging someone else down if we're unhappy in ourselves? And I think it's also okay to be jealous of people. Like, if someone's doing better than you, it's okay to be jealous of them. Jealousy is a normal human being emotion, but if you're letting your jealousy then drive hateful and negative bitchiness, that's a you problem and it's something you need to work on rather than projecting it onto others. So to answer your question, I don't know why brown girls find it so hard to support other brown girls. However, there are so many out there that do, and I have decided to just truly focus my energy and my time on those individuals. The older I've gotten, I found some incredible South Asian women who are literally the pillars and support system in my life, and so I've just chosen to just only focus on that and ignore the negative. And that might not be healthy, but it's made me a lot happier and live a lot more peaceful, drama-free life. And to be honest, isn't that what we all want? If you find yourself in a situation where someone is bitching about someone, or even you yourself feel like you're gossiping about someone when you just don't need to be, just check yourself or check your friend. Let's just try and do better and be better. Finding a man when you've never been in a relationship. Have you ever heard of a more common brown girl dilemma? I think not. Talk to me, guys. If you are of the older generation, talk to me. I would love to know, how do you expect brown girls to find a husband when for their entire lives they aren't allowed to date? How do you expect a brown girl to get married or at least be in a long-term relationship if they aren't allowed to leave the house? Make it make sense. And I know that that isn't the case for everyone, especially in the younger generations or who live in the Western part of the world, but I still have friends to this day that weren't allowed to date till they were like 21, or they would actually have to have secret relationships during or after uni because they were too scared to introduce them to their family. How do you expect to develop experiences of having a relationship if they're never even allowed one? This is something that you can clip up and send to your auntie or your mother or your dad or your older overprotective brother. If you don't go out and meet lots of different types of people and have conversations about lots of different ways of living, morals, future goals, aspirations, how will you ever figure out what type of a partner you want to be with, what type of a partner makes you happy? You can't. I'm gonna settle for the first person that gives me attention and on paper is nice. The chances of that working out and actually making you happy, pretty slim. I think it's so important for us to actually start having conversations around dating and normalizing the idea of people getting into relationships and maybe it doesn't work out. At least allowing your daughters and your sisters to get into relationships, to try and experience new things and learn from these experiences, as opposed to just throwing them in the deep end and then expecting them to swim. If you're in that situation, I highly encourage you to challenge these thoughts and have conversations, whether it's with your family or your friends, about actually dating and about actually meeting guys. That is such an important part of life. Your life partner and who you choose to spend the rest of your life with, if you choose to have a life partner, is probably one of the most important decisions you're ever going to make in your life. And the fact that you're going to have to make it without any experience or even understanding of what that partner for you should look like is terrifying to me, and I'm sure terrifying to you as well. Ultimately, it is your life. Like, you might have to upset a few people in the short run to do something that might bring you much more happiness in the long run. Next dilemma is when good friends in quotation marks, give off jealous energy vibes. Let me tell you one thing, if you're getting bad vibes from a friend, trust your gut. If you think someone's a good friend but they make you feel like they're constantly jealous of you, trust your gut. If someone is with you and they're either copying everything you do or they're never truly happy for anything that you achieve, trust your gut. Because if there is one thing I have learned from all of the friendship experiences I have had, is that if someone is giving you bad vibes, trust your gut. Most of the time, people will always show you their true colours and they will always show you their true intentions, and actions speak louder than words. If you're going through something super exciting or you've achieved something amazing in your life, like a job promotion, or you've just got into a new relationship, and the people around you who are meant to be your friends are not happy for you whatsoever, they're not your friends. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they are not the people you should be surrounding yourself with in your life. There are so many people out there that would be so happy for you and uplift you, and I feel like when people ask me these questions, they already know the answer. They just need some reassurance or validation that they're not going crazy, and you're not. Your gut is so right, and if someone was truly happy for you, you'd know it, and you would never have to question it. And the same goes for a relationship. If you ever feel like you're having to question if someone genuinely likes you or is genuinely into you, they're not the one. The one would never ever make you feel anxious or unsure or uncertain of their intention. When someone is giving you toxic vibes, you have to trust the vibe that they're giving you. Next dilemma is feeling obligated to invite certain family members to milestone events. I'm probably the worst person to ask this question to because I'm so savage. Now, my advice would literally just be to invite whoever the hell you want and deal with the consequences, because it's your life. In 10, 20, 30 years time, who's gonna look back and regret that they spent X amount of money on these people, or they had to accommodate for all these people that they didn't know? You. It's your milestone to celebrate. Just have the people that genuinely want to celebrate that with you, because half the time all of these randomers that you have at your wedding are just there for the free food, which they're then going to complain about anyway. My rule is also, like, if I can't name them or how I'm related to them, like, that says it all. I have so much respect for my parents, and if there are certain people that they want there because they have great relationships with them, then that's also fine. But I do think there needs to be a balance and a boundary set, because you can respect your parents all you like, but at the end of the day, if it becomes their wedding and not yours, then who's suffering? Typical Indian tradition of living in the mother-in-law's house after marriage. This is such a tricky one because obviously I've not been in this situation, nor will I ever be in this situation. I love my in-laws or in-laws to be, but I also am super independent. I will have my own property by the time I get married, so it's just something I fortunately won't have to deal with. However, the experience I do have, I do get to spend a lot of time with my mother-in-law. Now, I'm also really fortunate because she's really nice and really sweet, and to be honest, I have zero complaints because she's so welcoming, and if anything, is probably like the total opposite of the horror stories I've heard. But I also feel like to get to that point, we've also been super transparent with each other. We've opened up and been vulnerable about certain situations and certain family dynamics. I feel like you have to build that relationship over time in order to gain that mutual respect. If someone is awful to you, absolutely vile to you, I also don't think you should have to put up with that and compromise your own mental health for the sake of keeping the peace. At the end of the day, you're keeping the peace at the detriment of your own mental health. If you're having a difficult situation with your mother-in-law, if you need to remove yourself from certain situations to better your life and yourself, then do it. And I know, again, it's like so much easier said than done in that sort of situation. Know that you're building towards doing that. And the other thing I'd say is that the men in your life, obviously the sons of these mother-in-laws, they need to step up. Because if your boyfriend or if your husband is not sticking up for you when there's a situation of conflict with your mother-in-law, I'm not going to say too much, just think about that. And that is the someone who is meant to protect you, provide for you, but that is the one person that is meant to support you. You're meant to be on a team. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's you versus her. It doesn't need to be a constant battle, and he shouldn't have to be in the middle of anything. However, there probably will be times where you might disagree on things, and it's so important to know that he has your back and is able to communicate how you're feeling, or at least be a sponge for some of the tension. Yes, he has a loyalty to his mother, and all of the brown men in the comments will come screaming at this and say, she produced me, you didn't, she was my first love, you're not. That's fine. Marry your mother. I actually can't believe I'm reading this next one, but is it too much to ask men to cook if you already do? No. Responsibilities in the household should absolutely be equally split and shared, because it takes a lot of bloody time and energy to do that. That is not your role in society. Your role should not be confined to the four walls of your home. Your role should not be confined to the kitchen. So no, ask away. In fact, ask him to cook you a 3-course meal every Friday night. Men need to fix up. Men actually need to raise the bar. Bare minimum is so low that women are scared to ask their man to cook for them. On that note, I feel like this is a long video. I'm gonna do a part 2 with the remainder of the questions, maybe even a part 3. If you want to see more, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, and if you want me to answer your dilemma, then of course DM me at Tanvi or at South Asian Social, because that is where we're going to be talking about all things brown girl. I will catch you guys in the next one. Lots of love. Bye.